Quark, what is going on here?
What does it look like?
It looks like business as usual, but that's impossible because all shops and businesses have been closed until further notice.
Except, of course, for essential station operations.
For which this place hardly qualifies.
I don't think they'd agree. This quarantine has everybody on edge, Constable. Would you deprive them of a little harmless diversion?
Trekcast.
But no, what I was saying is that I feel like I've had these headphones on. I was literally on either online meetings of either Teams, Microsoft Teams, Adobe Connect, Zoom, and or Skype for almost 7 hours yesterday. All not quite nonstop, but pretty darn close. And today has been an exact repeat of that. It's just getting ridiculous. It's been getting ridiculous. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm ready to.
You sound like you're done with it.
Yeah, I'm ready to go back to working the way I was working before all this bullshit. Yeah.
I'm home, finally.
Yeah.
And, well, a couple things. Everything got green while I was gone.
Yeah.
The grass is green again. I should have stayed right where I was. I should have stayed in the hotel because my wife won't let me touch the kids. She won't let me go anywhere near her.
Right.
Wearing this thing around the house.
Yeah.
I have the master bedroom all to myself. I eat at the other end of the dining room table. I'm like, man.
You have
what was I in a hurry for?
Yeah.
Should have just stayed where it was.
Yep.
You know, I didn't even have to put pants on in that.
Yeah.
Hotel room.
Now you do.
Yeah. It went downhill.
So what happened? Like, tell us how you
got out early.
Yeah. Good behavior. What was it?
No, I got a call from the Department of Health following up on everything, and you know they wanted to know the timeline. When did you have your first symptoms? When was the last time you had a fever? Which I never had a fever, or if I did, it was the first 2 days when I didn't have access to a thermometer. But once I had access to a thermometer, I never had a fever. So I mean, I was quarantined. I self-quarantined for like 8 days, and 6 of those days there was no fever. So what's today? Thursday? Yeah. So they were like, you're good to go back to work. And I'm like, listen, I'm not even concerned about going back to work. That's not that's not what I'm doing right now. But because they have guidelines for essential employees to return to work, and I met the criteria to return to work. So the logic was, if you meet the criteria to return to work, you can go home. You can essentially go home. So they said just wear the mask until Monday.
Okay.
Keep the social distancing the best you can at home.
Yeah.
And
you should do the show with the mask on.
I thought
we
about it.
Should all be wearing masks.
I was driving around with my panda mask yesterday.
This is like, you remember Scorpion from Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, there you go.
What does he say? He says, "Come here." Yeah, Sub-Zero. No, Scorpion. He says, he throws the chain.
Sub-Zero.
And he says, yeah, but you gotta let me finish the joke, man. When he throws the chain and he hooks it, and he says, "Come here." Except, stay over there.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
You could just paint it with gray and black lines, and then just be, like Bane.
Yeah.
Bane.
Yep.
So,
I forget what his line is in that movie. One of the lines he says over and over again.
I don't know. I've tried to rewatch those movies a couple times, and they just don't do it for me.
Oh, I love them.
Really? Oh man, I could watch those 3 right in a row anytime.
Really?
Yeah.
Name a time and place. I'm down.
Yeah.
Okay. I love those. Those have got to be the best. Well, it's got to be. They are. They are the best Batman trilogy, the best Batman series, the best version of Batman in my take. I might start a fight there with that one, but to me, that was phenomenal. Now
It's
we'll see
really
what Robert
good.
we'll see what Robert Patterson does, but I kind of doubt he's going to be able to top that. So
Sparkly Batman. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that. No, I think
yeah,
I've seen his some of his other stuff, like Rover, and I forget the other one I watched. He is a really good actor. He really is.
I'll take your word for it.
I think he's going to surprise people.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. So.
I don't know.
well.
I'm done making predictions. I thought that, I thought that Batman versus Superman was going to be terrible, and it was, But I also thought that Ben Affleck was going to be terrible, and he really wasn't.
He was good.
No, he was good.
Yeah, he was.
He's like
he
the
was
best
good.
part of that movie.
Yeah, he
I
was.
don't know
good
why
as
he's
Batman.
not Batman anymore. I don't know why.
I don't
You
know.
know, well, I know why, because DC doesn't know what they're doing. Like
Yeah.
they're totally just screwing the whole thing up. And now they're going to have to get rid of Ezra Miller as the Flash. So
Yeah, he's been canceled.
which is fine. I'm fine
Wait,
with
what
that
ha-
because they should have brought
what
in
happened?
Grant to begin with. They should have brought in Grant from the TV series to begin with. He is a great Flash.
He choked out a girl at a bar.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How did I miss this?
And there's video of it.
And there's video of it.
So
I mean, he's
like,
drunk
you're
and
done.
sloppy, but yeah,
You're
he goes
done.
right for the jugular.
You're done.
Yeah.
So.
And Amber Heard
You know,
is canceled too.
You know,
Why with Amber though? I don't understand that. What happened there? Just because Johnny Depp's not quite the ass that we thought he was? What? I don't.
From what I understand, she faked a lot of stuff.
Oh.
what?
Well.
Wait, what happened? Who?
She was claiming that Johnny Depp used to beat her and stuff like that.
Who is this?
Amber Heard,
Heard.
the lady in
Aquaman's
Aquaman, Aquaman's wife, yeah, or girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was she his wife or supposed to be his wife, or
She's
they were
supposed to be in the
supposed to be
comics. Yeah.
supposed to have been betrothed, but they weren't really that in the movies. They were just like old flames, or actually they weren't really old flames because he didn't know who the hell she was.
Well, it was the first movie. They're going to build up to that.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Part 3 is the wedding. I don't know.
Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Yeah.
God, the DC movie universe is just such a.
It's trash.
They need to do a bold movie.
But it's a shame. It's a shame because there's good pieces in there.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Wonder
the
Woman.
Aquaman movie was a good movie. Wonder Woman was a good movie.
Yep.
Shazam was a good movie.
That
Still
was a
haven't
fun
seen
movie.
it. Still haven't seen it.
You got
Shazam
time.
it's a very fun movie.
It's a fun movie.
My son loves it. I watch it with him.
How old's your son again?
He's 7.
Okay, so my 12-year-old.
But he saw it in the theater a year ago. So he
yeah,
was 6.
that's right. That's right. I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun movie, dude. It's a good like Friday night family. Let's chill out movie.
Yeah,
It's
we might
perfect.
watch that this weekend then.
Yeah.
It's Easter weekend. I don't have to go to work tomorrow. It's Good Friday, so I've got
We
the
don't have
next
to do
3
it.
days off. Yeah, we're
Dude,
as if
I'm planning to rent
I was
Knives
going to
Out
do anything
tonight.
else. Yeah, see, I wanted to watch Knives Out, but we watched Dark Waters the other night with Mark Ruffalo instead, which,
how's that?
by the way, is a hell of a movie. It's slow because it's not meant to be anything other than just kind of a slow movie.
I like
but
those.
boy, it's so good. You know, it's a movie kind of up there on par with like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Mhm.
God, I can't think of any others like that, but it's like that. It's just a slow, driven,
Intimidating game and
yes, intimidation.
Syriana.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it's so good. I mean, Mark Ruffalo I've always thought was a great actor.
Yeah.
I've never thought anything other than that, other than he's a wacko in politics, but every actor in Hollywood is. But no, he's fantastic. He did a great job with Hulk. He did a good job in my opinion with Hulk. So better than the first guy, whatever his name. Eric Bana.
Well, Eric Bana and then Edward Norton.
Yeah, Edward Norton. Oh God. Anyway, so I kind of forget about him, but he's okay. He's actually really good, just not as the Hulk. Like he needs to be more in movies like the one with Brad Pitt, Fight Club. Okay, those kinds of roles with him are so much better. But anyway, getting back to my point, Dark Waters. If you haven't seen that Mark Ruffalo movie, go watch it with him and Anne Hathaway. I mean, just a fantastic movie. And if you don't know anything about DuPont and you don't know anything about Teflon and what's been happening with that and is still to this day happening with it, it's an ongoing thing. It's not done. You need to go watch that. That'll just open your eyes, and then make you want to go throw shit away.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway.
Yeah.
We got on tangents there totally.
Yeah, we did.
Welcome to Trekcast.
Tangent cast.
Tangent cast, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but hey, we're at it again.
Good. Yeah, for sure. But Dan, it's good to be back though. Finally.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yes, it's good to be back.
Good. Right on. I do have some news if we want to go there.
Attention all hands. It's time for Star Trek news.
Yeah, let's do it. I've got a couple of them too if you don't cover them already.
Okay.
Actually, I've got three. If actually no, two. If you don't cover them already, I've got two laid out. So go.
We'll
for
see.
it. Yeah,
First news story comes from Inverse.com, and the headline is Picard Season 2 will answer huge question from the finale showrunner hints. So, basically, the big question is Picard still the same character? Because now that he's Robot Picard.
Since
Yeah.
the answer is no.
The answer is going to be no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now they're unshackled from canon. They can do whatever they want.
There was no canon, but at this point. But I mean, like you're right. He can't be. He can't be the same character.
They say that they're kind of basing everything off the old question of if you take off in a ship and you come back to port and you've had to replace every plank on the ship, is it still the same ship that you went out in? That's an old philosophical question.
That's a totally different question, and the answer is yes. It's the same ship. It just had some repairs.
No. He's talking about, you replace the front half of the ship, and then 3 days
every
later,
plank gets a
yes, every part of the ship has been replaced. Not overnight though.
Yeah.
Right.
You start replacing this, then you replace this, then you replace that, and there comes a point where none of it is the same.
Right.
Is it the same ship?
Yeah, it's still the same ship, because the ship is just a name. It's just a name. It's an object, right? If you replaced it slowly, that's like saying that Kauffman Stadium, Royal Stadium here in Kansas City, it's not the same stadium as the one that was originally built. It should be called something else because it's been renovated so many different times. There's not a single piece of concrete that you can see in that place that's been there since 1972. But guess what? It's still Kauffman Stadium because it's just a name. It's an inanimate object. That's totally different than what's going on with Picard, because that's a living thing. Well, not anymore.
All I think is Istanbul was once Constantinople.
Is it a living thing, or is it a copy of a living thing?
Picard is a copy of a living thing. He's not a living thing.
Yeah.
He was created. He's a copy of a living thing. He's not a living thing anymore.
They put a space Frenchman in a thumb drive and put it on
pretty much,
sticks.
yeah. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, that gets back to the whole, is Data a person, right? Is Data a person? And the answer is yes, but that doesn't mean he's alive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's not alive. He was created in a lab, and he's less alive than Picard is from the standpoint of he's made with electronics and components. He's not made with any biological elements at all.
Right.
Does that mean we should treat him like an inanimate object? No, because he's not an inanimate object. He's much more than the sum of his parts, but that doesn't mean he's alive. And that goes with Picard. He was grown. His body that he's in now was grown in a lab. Just because his memories are a copy of his memories, i.e. the hard drive inside of his head, was taken out of his biological body, which was alive, and stuck into an artificial body, which was not, doesn't suddenly make him alive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does that mean we treat him like he's an inanimate object? No, because obviously he's greater than the sum of his parts.
We don't treat him like an inanimate object. We treat him like a fictional character.
So here's my question now. Thinking about this, because we know that Guinan is supposed to be coming back, and we know that the EMH is coming back. So in theory, is Guinan going to be cold to him, saying, you're not the guy I remember, you're different, and the EMH could be the other side saying, hey, you're just like me, you're a real person. So that way you have that duality. I guarantee they won't do any of that because that's too much.
No, they won't. That's too much to think about. No, that's not. That's exactly. They won't. That's exactly what they should be doing, though. This gets back to our
what's funny?
Last week,
somebody in the Facebook group, talking about Picard.
Yeah.
They said, and I don't know what they're referring to because we've done so many shows.
Yeah.
But they said something to the effect of, "Man, I wish we got the show that Dan, Chad, and Daniel thought we would get rather than what we got."
That's bringing up an interesting point, though, and he's right. If he didn't listen to any of the podcasts in the last 2 months because he hadn't watched Picard yet, and then he went and watched Picard. Now he's listening to the podcast as he catches up. Boy, you know how much fun that would be right now?
Oh, that'd be great.
Able to do. Yeah. I mean, I almost want to go and watch the first again, then listen to the podcast again, and just see how freaking wrong I was. But,
all right, so my second news story comes from TrekMovie.com, and the headline reads, Jeff Russo gives update on Noah Hawley's Star Trek movie. So Jeff Russo is a composer who often works with Noah.
Yeah.
He's worked with him on Fargo and Legion and Lucy in the Sky, and he gave an interview recently and talked about a little bit about Star Trek. Says that him and Noah have had conversations about the project. They've talked about themes and the overall story. They're both very excited to move things forward, and that's about it. So the update is at least they're talking, so that's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's decent. And our last news story comes from StarTrek.com, and this is a big, major double event. Mega event for April on Star Trek Timelines. It's called Double Jeopardy, and they're going to bring in the Soji character. So you will get to play Soji in Star Trek Timelines or get her card. I don't know. I played that game for a day, hated it. So
yeah, whatever. I know. I mean, I so want to go and play this game so I can see some of the new stuff. But I'm like, I might have like 6 total hours in the game on the play, maybe more than that, maybe 10 hours on the PlayStation itself in total. So I'm so far away from being able to really do anything with all this new stuff they add that it just makes me it's so daunting. It's like, just whatever. And it is on the PlayStation. It's shit. I have nothing else to play it on, but on the PlayStation, it's total crap because you can't read. And you literally have to stand in front of the TV about as far away as I am from the computer monitor in front of me right now in order to read anything. The UI, the graphical interface for it just sucks. It's bad.
Oh, I had it on my iPad. That was decent in there.
Yeah, maybe that'd be better. But I don't know. It seems like a smaller screen would be worse. But then again, the resolution on the big screen is.
Yeah.
I mean, it might as well be Minecraft. It's that bad.
No, this is Timelines. This is like the card-based game.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Star Trek Online.
No.
You have Timelines on the iPad. Oh, yeah. See, I hated that game. So, okay. Anyway.
Yeah. I like how the sun is beaming down on Dan.
Yeah.
Looking all angelic.
All angelic, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm going to go towards the light.
No, that's bad. That's bad.
There's only one, not 4. Stay here.
Yeah. But that's it. That's all the news stories I got.
All right, so here's the 2 that I got.
Okay.
And here's the big one that I thought was interesting because we've all said this before, right?
Okay.
And this is from boundingintogaming.com.
Oh, okay.
Or actually boundingintocomics.com. So yeah, it's but anyway,
TMZ. Yeah,
pretty much. But it says, are the latest Star Trek rumors marketing research for Viacom CBS?
Oh, 100%.
100%. We all know the answer is yes.
Yeah.
And as they go through and look at all the different things that we've heard rumors about, and you got to go read this article if you can. It's easy to find. But if you look at all the different things that have been bounded about and what the latest rumors are, you can tell that there's a common theme between all of them. So obviously there's rumors about a Pike series. Mm-hmm. And some of that is just rumors, but some of it is even more of someone's talked to a writer on the staff that works both on Picard and Disco, and it's somewhat confirmed it. Then there's also this ridiculous, crazy Defender-style Star Trek crossover thing, which shouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But that's going around right now too. Then there's now a new rumor about an old Janeway series.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
Possible thing going around, and how they're gonna try to research that if it's even popular or not. Is they're gonna stick Janeway into season 2 of Picard. That's the rumor.
No, that's bad.
Yeah, I know it is bad. Don't do that. So
no.
Then there's of course the seasons 4 and 5 of Discovery being shot at the same time. Ugh. That's a rumor going around because of quote unquote how well it's doing or how bad it's doing in season 4 and 5.
Failure.
Yeah, it's all failure. So, there's a whole lot of this stuff going around, but really when you start to piece all of that together, it just does one thing and one thing only in my head. It confirms that some of this, if not all of it, is being shoved out by somebody at CBS to see what people's reactions to it are.
Yeah.
It has to be.
They do that all the time.
Yeah.
They do that too. Like, when Robert Pattinson was going up for casting for Batman, it was him and another guy. I think it was Ben Foster. Forget who it was, but they leaked both names.
I don't know.
And it was just who got the better reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who Ben Foster is. It makes me think of Ben and Jerry's, but I know that's not right.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't Ben Foster. But the guy who plays
either.
The guy who it was Nicholas I forget his last name. No, the guy who plays Beast in yeah. The guy who plays Beast in the X-Men movies.
Beast. Oh, that guy.
Kelsey Grammer. Kelsey Grammer is Batman?
Kelsey Grammer.
Young Kelsey Grammer, yes. Young Kelsey Grammer. The guy that plays the young version of Beast in the newer one, who's there with James McAvoy. He's a great actor. He's a really good actor. He would be fantastic as a Batman. And I thought he was a really good lookalike too for a young Kelsey Grammer as well. So that was perfect.
Yeah.
That was a good. I mean, when they started that with the younger X-Men back in the past, the casting they did for the younger versions of those older characters we knew, they did a fantastic job at casting those. Not quite as good, but almost as good as the first JJ movie did at casting recasting Kirk and Spock and everybody else. But anyway, getting off on a tangent. So
yeah, I like Michael Fassbender Magneto. That was great.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Please give me more of that.
Yeah.
I saw Dark Phoenix while I was locked up.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry.
Still haven't seen that.
You didn't miss anything.
Okay, good.
How was Green Lantern again? Right.
Even Ryan Reynolds said it's the biggest mistake of his life.
It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, it's not as bad as everyone says, but it's not great. It's
but the villain's horrible. The villain is so bad.
Yeah, that's true.
The guy with the bubbly, maybe not.
Space Cloud.
The guy with the bubbly meat face thing. That was so bad.
Yeah, well, you could see that they were building towards a franchise.
Yeah.
Sinestro's a good guy in this one, and you could see that. I think there's a post-credit scene or the last scene where he gets the yellow ring.
Mm-hmm.
But I was watching it and I couldn't help but look at it as such a missed opportunity. That should have been DC's Iron Man.
Yeah.
That totally could have been the beginning of their cinematic universe, and it wasn't.
Bad writing.
Yeah.
Bad effects, really. I mean,
yeah, the suit.
Although I don't know.
They want the complete CGI suit just looked terrible.
Well, would it have looked better if it was just a green prosthetic bodysuit, though, without any glow to it? I don't know if that would have looked better or not. I don't know.
It didn't need to glow all the time, though.
That's true. That's true.
If it only glowed when he was
activating powers.
Yeah. Yep. The mask was terrible.
Glowing.
The mask looks it was painted on.
Yeah.
That looked terrible.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, it wasn't good.
But I mean, that's how he met his wife, so whatever.
Well, then the movie worked for two people.
Exactly.
Yeah, it worked for two people.
Happy with it.
Two people. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so here's my other news story that I got, which goes right along with everything else. The world is crumbling. Viacom CBS's downward spiral is accelerating as talks of unraveling grows.
What?
But guess where this is from? No, this is from Forbes.
Oh, really?
Forbes did a back kind of a backwards analysis over the last 6 to 8 months of CBS Viacom or Viacom CBS's performance. This last quarter, they're going to have a $273 million loss. So on revenue of $6.9 billion, which that revenue dropped 3% over the year prior. So there's some good things about this art. There's some parts of this article that I think the guy who wrote it just must hate Sherry Redstone. I don't know. They make some decent points, though, for there being some problems at Viacom CBS. But they also make some really stupid comments. There's one particular part in here where they says they've also lagged behind their peers in launching a subscription streaming service that would compete with Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu, NBC's Universal's Peacock, and Warner Media's HBO Max. Who the fuck wrote that? CBS Viacom's streaming service of CBS All Access is not there to compete with Disney Plus, Netflix, or Hulu. And it sure as shit's beating the crap out of NBC's Universal's Peacock, which hasn't even freaking launched yet. And I don't know what HBO Max is versus HBO Go. These are that's a totally separate thing. So
HBO Max is going to replace Go.
Right. Okay. So whatever. But I mean, that's like comparing apples to grapefruit and saying that the grapefruit's bigger. Why isn't the apple bigger? Like what the? That's two totally different things.
Well, the one thing that they have to fix, they literally have no movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There is a movie section on CBS All Access, and I checked it out last night, and there's about 12 movies on there.
Yeah. Which makes no sense to me because what they really need to do with CBS, if it was me running this company right now, CBS All Access would be gone. Showtime online, the streaming service for Showtime would be gone. And some new name, whatever it is, just Viacom streaming or V streaming or whatever the hell you want to call it, everything that they're wanting to stream in their entire catalog is all now inside of that one thing. Whether it's anything that's on CBS, whether it's their sports, live, the streaming, everything that was in Showtime before, their whole catalog is now inside of that. And wherever it is, because part of this article that's right is a lot of CBS content isn't on CBS All Access because it's already under a licensing agreement with Netflix and Hulu. Well, they need to strip that shit out of there right now. Because now it's because here's the thing about that. It's Viacom CBS. It's not Viacom anymore. It's not CBS anymore. It's a new company. Every single one of those things can be totally renegotiated at this point. So strip all that content out.
If you replace every part of the company, is it still the same company?
Legally, you can make that argument. Yes, I know. I'm playing double-edged swords here, but yes, legally you can make that argument. Yeah. So, and then the other part of this that's actually the part of it that's correct, that where they do, there is a real problem with CBS is when it comes to sports. They didn't have the NCAA tournament this year. That's $1 billion ad revenue.
Yeah, that's a big.
I want to back up for a minute.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's a new company; they are still bound by those agreements.
Yeah, I know.
If they weren't, Spider-Man would be in the house of Mouse right now, but he obviously isn't.
That's true.
So
I know. Doesn't mean they couldn't start the renegotiation process for that stuff, though. I mean, and they haven't. And it's right now, some of this stuff is tied up until 2023 and 2027, according to this article. And there's no plans to change that, which is ridiculous. So, and they have a big cash flow problem, according to this analysis that they did. So, with all that said, one thing is written in here correctly by this numbskull who wrote this article. It's not like they don't have money. Their cash flow is not great. But they do have money, and they've got people at the head of the wheel now who actually care about the overall arching of the company itself. So I don't think that there's going to be a problem long term. I think the short term looks pretty tough for them because of the loss of sports. Because CBS Sports side of things was a huge revenue generator, and it's gone. And it's gone for the foreseeable future until football comes around, and that's the 1 week sport that CBS has. They're not as strong on the football side as they were on baseball and basketball. So, it'll be interesting to see how fast some normalcy in sports returns here. Hopefully in the month of May, June, something like that. But
I wonder if they still have to pay out on those contracts for sports, because I know a lot of the leagues, that's what's getting them by, is the fact that they do have to pay them out still, whether or not they're on the air.
It depends league by league, in some cases club by club. So it's a completely different animal.
Because that would explain a lot of that loss too.
Yeah.
Because if they have to pay out and they're not getting commercial revenue on top of it, like that sucks.
That's $1 billion loss. Yeah. So NCAA was $1 billion loss.
Yeah. So that's a lot of that loss right there.
Well, that's loss for this year. Loss last year was 237. If you lost $237 million in 2019 with normal operations, and now so far this year, you already know on paper there's $1 billion of loss this year, and your revenue last year was $6.9 billion. What do you think your revenue this year is going to be?
Yeah,
holy shit, it just went down the tubes. So it's going to be a rough year for them. Bad time for the merger, really, from the standpoint of that. But I mean, I think they'll be okay. But from what I'm reading in that article, anyway, I think they'll be okay. But hey, who knows?
We should get back to Star Trek.
Yeah, we probably should. Well, hey, it's CBS Viacom, and part of the thing they talk about in there is if all these things are underneath one umbrella with Star Trek at this point, then why do we not see more plans for it that are actually definite on the movie front? And that's part of the thing they talk.
Yeah, it's they're hedging their bets.
They're hedging their bets.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
Yep. Anyway, okay, done with that. Sorry.
Okay.
I just thought those two news articles were fantastic reads. So
yeah. Well, we've got some feedback.
Hailing frequencies. Open.
Yep.
I posted in the group that we were gonna do a recording today, and questions, comments, and favorite flavors of cake. So, because I don't know why.
Yeah, why not?
Whatever. So, how about you guys? What's your favorite flavor of cake?
Yellow cake with chocolate frosting.
That's good.
Cake. Not the biggest cake guy, so I guess German chocolate cake, I suppose, because I'm more of a pie guy.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
You didn't tell me I could pick a pie.
I'd go carrot cake, but that's me.
Pie would be
carrot cake.
Carrot cake's delicious.
Carrot cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I would like a cake. Can you put some vegetables in it? Sure.
It's good with cream cheese frosting. It's amazing.
Anyway.
I live in such an uncultured area. Juan asks, which secondary or tertiary character from TNG, DS9, or Voyager would you like to see in season 2 of Picard who then gets killed? Because that's what we do.
I was all set to pick someone, and then you said, and then gets killed. That just changes it up.
Yeah.
I would like to see Tom Paris appear and get killed, just so he can tell everyone, I was Nick Lacardo the whole time.
Yeah.
I think it would be funny to kill Harry, like at his promotion finally, and something happens and he dies.
Well, they should do a back shot of 14 years earlier. He's on the Mars Plantatia.
Yeah.
And he's in the middle of a ceremony, accepting his tips when an android busts in and shoots him.
They're about to hand it too. Like it's so
he
close
doesn't
that
even
it's gonna
get
happen.
it. Yeah, he doesn't even get it.
Yeah.
He dives for it. He's like, no.
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone coming back who dies. It'd have to be somebody from the TNG or DS9 side, not from Voyager side, because other than the crew of Voyager. Because I'd want it to be a more minor character if I'm going to kill him off. Although I don't know. Yeah, Morn.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind Ezri, because then you could bring on Dax. And you could bring a new Dax.
Yeah.
That's an idea.
That would be actually pretty good. And she's older at this point, so her character's had plenty of time to do her thing without getting killed young and that kind of thing. So no, actually, that would be pretty cool. That'd be a good pick.
The new Dax is Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Well, if you're gonna go that crazy with it, then it should be what's his name, the basketball player that goes over there with Kim Jong Un.
Dennis Rodman.
No. It's a synth. It's a synth body. And you know who the new Dax is?
Yeah.
Terry Farrell.
There you go.
There you go. Well, hey, that brings up an interesting point. Two interesting points. Okay. Can a Dax symbiote be implanted into a synth and therefore live forever without having to get reimplanted into anybody else? Do they need trills anymore?
That is a good question.
Okay, that's question number one. Question number two, if synths and this kind of thing are now a thing in Picard, then why not 870 years into the future on Discovery?
Yeah, there might be.
There should be. They wouldn't all be gone.
Right.
They live forever. There's going to be a character somewhere on this. There could be a character somewhere on Discovery who was around at the time of Picard.
I mean, Brent Spiner can play his great.
Yeah, and they'll give his acronym an A and an I again just for the hell of it to spoof everybody. So
Dan loves that idea, I can tell.
That whole thing ruined so much. I'm sorry, but that whole thing with putting a person's brain into a synth body and now it's that person just ruins so much shit inside of Trek. It's just unbelievable. It's like a bull in a china shop at this point, these idiots and the writing team. Well, I guess I can't say it's these idiots in the writing team because someone could have come up with the idea and told the writers to write it. So who knows who came up with it? But whoever that Alex Kurtzman is needs to be drugged through the streets and shot or something.
In theory, I mean, they had the transporter accidentally turn everybody into young kids again. So in theory, you could have made everybody immortal by constantly having them grow again. You know?
Yeah.
So,
But you could easily take that as an accident, and it didn't always work, and we've tried that, and it kills people sometimes, and you could come up with some other alternate way to explain that away, but you can't explain this thing away with the golem and how easy it was just to transfer.
right.
You can't explain that away now, other than a la Discovery, end of season 1. No one's ever going to talk about the thing we're never going to talk about again, which is the spore drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or was that season? Yeah, it was season 1 when they did that, wasn't it? Or was it season 2?
Season 1, and then they used it in season 2 a bunch.
Exactly. After they weren't supposed to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever.
They got addicted to it and couldn't do it anymore.
Juan also wants to know, who would be your quarantine balcony buddy?
Oh Lord! But the people he listed, none of them. Those are all the people I want to have die in season 2 of Picard.
Chakotay, Barkley, Rom, Kes, Hoshi, Tilly.
Now, okay, I'll say this about Tilly. She'd be fun to hang with. Tilly herself.
Yeah.
I don't know if Mary Wiseman don't care, but Tilly herself. But not for a 3-month quarantine stay. I mean, holy cow, the amount of energy Tilly puts out all the time. At least
go ahead.
At least with Chakotay, like I would know there would be like whole days where he wouldn't speak.
Right.
And I'm just gonna say I'm sorry right now, and I apologize right now, guys, if I'm cutting you off or not letting you, because I've been doing this all day for 2 days in a row, so I'm pretty.
I feel like with Hoshi, at least you would learn another language.
1 of 7.
Yeah, that could be kind of cool.
That would be. The kids said they were going to learn Spanish.
I think I'd choose Chakotay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want the little thing on my forehead go on the spirit walk. Right? Doesn't he have a little device that he uses instead of smoking the herbs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Far from the bones of our ancestors.
Yes.
Electronical version of getting high.
Okuchi Moya.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Which is a great name for a band.
I started to say Konnichiwa, and I'm like,
yeah. Hoshi would not like that.
Every time I heard that, I couldn't help but not hearing Akuchi. I mean, I just couldn't help it. I mean, every time. So bad.
Oh, my God.
So bad.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Okay, can I tell you, if I see one more picture of a custom-made G.I. Joe exotic action figure, I'm gonna lose my mind. Everybody and their brother is sending them to me. Oh, check this out! Check this out!
Yep.
It's like, yeah. I get it. It's funny.
Yeah, I'm Tiger Kinged out at this point.
You're what?
Tiger Kinged out at this point.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah. It's over. Move on to the next thing. So.
Yeah, that Pogs trend is over.
Yep.
Yeah. That was so last week.
That was last week, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we get to our topic.
Well, we got more feedback. We got emails, of course.
Oh, yeah.
We got to give a shout out to those who have gone over to the coffee account in the last couple of weeks, because we didn't get a chance to talk about any of this kind of stuff. Feedback, emails, coffee account, none of it.
That's true. Yeah.
So right, we just kind of nailed it with our conversation with David Ivey. If you missed that and you weren't aware that David Ivey was on last week's show, pause this one as you're listening to it. Go back, listen to that one, and come back again.
Yeah, so, David Ivey was on last week's show.
Yeah, he was on last week's show. Did we say that? Did we say who's on last week's show?
We just started talking to him.
We never even said welcome to Trekcast. Nothing. We just boom, there it was. All four of us just going at it for 2 hours or hour and a half or whatever it was. No,
like a well-oiled machine.
Exactly, we are a very well-oiled machine, and and if you don't know any better, then welcome to the show.
Yes.
So, but no, there's been a couple of big donations over to the coffee account. Daryl gave us a huge donation about 2 weeks ago. I want to say thank you for that, sir. That's huge.
Thank you.
That's major. I forget the one that we got right before that. Do you have that pulled up by chance, Daniel? Or
I don't.
Okay. Well, I'll go pull it up real quick as I'm reading this. Got an email from Zachary Thompson back on March 22nd. So it's been a while since we've checked these emails.
Yeah.
He says, "Hey, Mr. Waldo, congratulations on the new job. You had mentioned it last episode, but I'm watching the latest show on YouTube right now. Figured I would say congratulations, Zachary T. So thank you very much for that, Zach.
Cool. Yeah.
Yep, I do have a new job. If you can see it in the background, that's one of the tracker units that I sell in the background there. That white thing on a tripod. Anyway,
I'm just blown away that you're Mr. Waldo.
Mr. Waldo, yeah.
I'm like, Chad's dad is here?
Yeah.
I didn't know Dennis was here.
Dennis Riker.
Dennis Riker.
That was our only actual, because I've got like 50 emails, but as I'm scrolling through them, I guess that was the only actual new email listener, because everything else is looks like junk. I mean, getting a lot of junk mail. Well, we got that one from Nicole Campos, but we can worry about that later.
Yeah, we'll deal with that later.
That's it on that side of it. Let me pull up the coffee account so I can make sure to thank the other person there. And then was there anything else, Daniel, feedback-wise emails on your end? Or
No.
Okay.
Somehow our email address has gotten out, and we're getting a ton of spam lately.
Yeah, me too. On this, well, I'm getting about 3 or 4 a day, and they're almost.
I'm getting way more than that.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll catch up at some point.
Yeah.
Someone who has emailed us is frequenting porn sites.
Probably.
Maybe.
They've clicked on a couple of unsafe links, and that's all she wrote.
It's either that, or it's like somebody with a data crawler who's just grabbing, because our email address is listed everywhere, so they just grab the email address and spam it.
Yeah. You can get that off the website easy enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking happened.
Yep. So no, Commander Fenton gave us a donation 11 days ago and says thanks for the away mission. So
thank you, sir.
Very cool.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it, sir. And then Mike Medina, yet again, bought a coffee for Trekcast 11 days ago too. So Mike, he's a constant, almost every month, not quite every month, but almost every month. So we really appreciate those guys who do the repeat donations like that.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
And then of course when Daryl put in his mega coffee amount a couple days ago, he said, "I hope you guys are doing well with the situation. Bring glory to you and your house." And I think Dan is doing that right now by wearing the mask inside everywhere, eating at the opposite end of the dining room table, and sleeping alone in the bed. So,
I kind of look like a JJ verse Klingon.
Yeah,
a little bit. So, a buddy of mine who's in one of my men's groups at church was sick for the last week or so. And he finally got around to watching Discovery and Picard. He's always been a Trek fan, but he's not like a huge Trek fan like we are. He watched the season 1 Picard all the way through. Really enjoyed it. Hated the ending. Did not like the whole Picard synth thing. He's just like, that just doesn't sit well with me. But he also watched Discovery and doesn't understand why everybody's upset about the new look of the Klingons. He thinks they look cool. It's like, oh my gosh, Brad. So,
I mean, it's different. I'll give him that.
It is different.
Yeah.
So, but hey, it's just I guess that's something to consider when someone's coming into Trek and watching it. No one's going to have the same. No two same people are going to have the same reaction. I mean, the three of us are big Trek fans, but we don't even have the same reaction over the same episode. We're close. We're close. Or as one listener told us
today.
Yeah, exactly. As one listener told us about a year ago. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But one listener told us about a year ago. You all three think the same. All have the same opinions on stuff. Why would I listen to you? You must have listened to one episode.
Yeah.
Where we happen to agree. I mean, so. But anyway, all right. That's it for the feedback session.
Cool. So for our topic, we reviewed the 5th episode of season 1 of DS9, Bable.
Talking about Star Trek in this week's topic. Talking about the Star Trek in this week's topic.
AKA the quarantine episode. Because of course we did. Yeah. This is a rough one because it's season 1. Yeah.
So synopsis. Basically, O'Brien is fixing everything all over the station. This is season 1 of Deep Space Nine, so the station is still a big floating turd. He's running around fixing everything, and there's basically a computer virus or something that was left implanted in the system from 15 years ago, and it has it's gotten into the replicators, and it has built an aphasia virus into the, am I remembering this correctly, into the food?
Yeah.
So as people are eating the food, they're getting infected, they're infecting other people around them, and essentially what this virus does is it makes it so the people cannot understand normal language, and they can't put coherent sentences together. When they speak, it sounds like gibberish to the people around them, and when the people around them speak, it sounds like gibberish to them. And the episode is essentially a race against time to quarantine everyone on the station while they try and find a cure to this virus. All the while, the crew is shrinking as people get sick,
Well, and then
have
the
to
virus
also be
becomes lethal
quarantined.
too.
Say that again,
Did
Daniel.
The virus becomes lethal. They say that if O'Brien doesn't get the cure soon, he's gonna die.
Okay.
Yeah, because he gets it not quite. Okay, full disclosure. I remember this episode fairly well, but I didn't have a chance to watch it in the last 3 or 4 days. So shoot me now.
Shame.
Wow.
I just brought dishonor to my house.
Wow. Hey, man, I found the time.
He was in quarantine.
I was going to say, you had plenty of time.
Yeah.
You had plenty of time. Honestly, this week has been weird because it's like all of a sudden everybody in the whole organization realized, yeah, we're all at home, but guess I should actually start to try to work. And I mean, like this 4-day work week has felt like a 6-day work week. I mean, it's just been nonstop. So, but like I said, I think people are over the whole let's get back to work thing now. Let's just move on. Let's go. And they're over this whole sitting and waiting game. But anyway, no, I remember the episode pretty well. And I do remember too that one of the things funny about that is there is no such thing as social distancing at this point in the 24th century.
Well, and it's funny because there's stuff that we're seeing now. Like they shut down a lot of the services in the space station, except for Quarks, because Quarks is considered essential.
Essential,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
There's that freighter captain subplot that's trying to leave the station because he doesn't want to get affected and he's scared.
Yep. He played the part of New Yorkers trying to escape to Rhode Island.
There you go.
Oh, okay. There you go.
That's it to a T.
And Bashir was the overconfident doctor. Oh, I can fix this. It'll be fine. Yeah.
You know, Bashir's character is one that always just kind of wasn't that he aggravated me, but there was times his character made absolutely zero sense.
Right.
So later on in the season, or later on in the seasons, as the seasons go on, they give him that arc of, oh no, he's actually a genius, right? I forget when that comes in. Was it at season 4 or whatever?
4 or 5, somewhere in there.
4 or 5. So I mean, it's well down the road.
Yeah.
But of course, he's known this all along, and then all of a sudden, he doesn't act stupid anymore.
Yeah,
people
he's
know
confident because it's out.
Because it's out, right? But at the same time, like if you go back and once you've watched that, and then you go back and watch season 1, 2's again. It doesn't fit because
it doesn't fit. They came up with that.
That's not acting stupid. That's just he was freaking stupid. Like
in the early episodes, they've touched on it a couple times where he was not valedictorian. He wasn't first in his class. He was second in his class, and it was because he missed one question on an oral board or something. He mistook a pre-ganglionic cell for a post-ganglionic nerve, or I don't know.
There's something obvious in that language, right? It's supposed to be something like, how the hell could you miss that? And then he later on he says, so I did it on purpose because I didn't want to be perfect.
Oh, they did cover that. They did.
They
say
do.
that.
They does say that.
Okay.
But see, that's the thing. They retconned it, and the way that he acts in season 1 and 2, and especially this episode, is it's not a character arc so much as it is a rewritten character.
There's another episode where they mentioned that he's a young doctor, he's new at this, and that's why he's unsure of himself and kind of acts stupid and
But I mean that happens when you're writing a TV show. There's things that are established early on that are just discarded later. If you watch early episodes of Deep Space Nine, Sisko refers to his father as if he's since passed away. And then one of the seasons it opens up and he's like, "Hey, I'm home for dinner."
Yep.
Odo's makeup, that whole prosthetic is way different.
Yeah, the prosthetics look different.
Well, that's
his
okay,
uniform
though.
changed. His uniform changed a bit too.
Some of that stuff is okay because that's just a progression of the show as you make little adjustments as you go. I can kind of understand some of that, but it's the whole "my father was dead, oh now I'm home for dinner" type of thing, and it's Bashir's character being rewritten and retconned. Those are jarring things. Those are major differences. Not, well, we've just slowly kind of changed we changed out a uniform because it just looks better, or we've changed a prosthetic because it's faster to put on the character's face and take off and all that. I don't care about that stuff so much as I do when they take it because I mean, again, that's what Trek is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about the characters,
so I'm just
for crying out loud. Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to be about the characters, and when you change a character drastically.
Get ready for season 2 of Picard.
I know. So one of the things in an article that I found that pointed out about this episode, because I didn't have time to watch it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think this is a stupid thing they pointed out, and they said no one washed their hands in this episode. You never see anybody washing their hands in this episode, right? Well, I kind of take a little bit of an issue with that because it is a virus, correct? But at the same time, it's kind of a digital virus. It's not like it's a biological. Where it was coming from at first. Right, but I mean, it's not really a biological virus. At the end of the day, it's not the same thing as a biological virus. If I remember this episode correctly, is that correct, guys? Am I wrong?
No, it is. It was replicated though. Yeah. It's in the replicator system, and it's being replicated into the food, so you're consuming it with the food.
So then, at that point, who cares about washing your hands? Because everybody has it. You're screwed. Everybody's going to get it. There's no else. There's no other way to get food.
Well, not everybody's getting it from the food. Some people are getting it from the food, and some people are getting it from other people that they're interacting with who have eaten the food.
But I mean, at some point, you have to eat. There's no other source of food than a replicator.
No, but the problem is it's a space station. Eventually, they're all going to get it.
Yeah, it's confined space. You can't. You can quarantine yourself, but guess what? You're already all quarantined in a tin can.
Well, I think it wasn't in all of the replicators, isn't it? That Quark was using one on the command deck. That was in an empty room. It was an empty room on the. Yeah, see, some of us watched the episode.
Yeah, but I remember that now, where he was pirating it. He was pirating a replicator from somewhere else where he wasn't supposed to. I remember him getting in trouble for that. Yeah. I do remember that. Okay, so I guess that makes a little bit more sense. Why somebody somewhere should be washing their hands, but anyway.
Well, I mean, in 50 years of Star Trek, have we seen anybody wash their hands, other than Picard when he was dreaming and then the Borg thing shot out of his face?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be the only time.
Well, in Enterprise, we saw them put that weird lotion on themselves way too many times. But that's the closest thing.
But that's before they had the filters in the transporter. So they were just coming back and forth from and
decontamination.
Decontamination room. Yeah. And that whole thing
we have ozone.
So
we have ozone machines.
Yeah.
That decontaminate air. I mean, I would imagine. Well, I mean, if I had a space station with a computer system that sophisticated, I think the ozone machine would switch on for uninhabited rooms and kind of clear out whatever microbes are in there when nobody's in there. I don't know.
Well, I will tell you that this episode originally aired on January 24th, 1993.
Oh, geez.
I feel old.
Yeah. It currently sits with a 1.5 star rating on Trek Navigator. The quote is, "It's a cliche virus story with a tired premise that is resolved too quickly."
Well, sure. Yeah, it's got to be resolved in 55 minutes or 52 minutes or whatever. So, of course it is.
Yeah.
So everything is resolved too quickly in an episode.
Do you remember what Kira did to get the guy to go with her?
She
kidnapped him and then infected him.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this and I'm like, what are you doing? You can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. It was, I mean, that's back when they kept calling her a terrorist, like, to her face.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. That's true. She was very angry too in this episode. Even before all that.
Angry,
when she's marching down the promenade with Jadzia and all the boys are like, "Hey, Jadzia," and she's like, meh, meh, meh. She was all
Yeah. That's her problem for having the hot friend.
Every group of girls has to have a grenade.
Yeah.
Some poor fool and the
Except
guy
Kira
just got to
actually
go
has a
jump on the grenade.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
That's how it goes.
Man.
Yeah. Oh, at one point the virus mutates and becomes airborne. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever. Because that's when the doctor gets it. Yeah.
We need to pick a better episode next
I
time.
about said something really funny. The doctor gets it. He's a hologram. Oh wait, we're talking DS9 now.
I
Voyager.
thought-
I
I
just watched
just-
the episode.
I had the exact same thought when he said the doctor. I'm like, wait a minute, how did he get that?
Nice. We're talking DS9, yep. It's
Oh
Julian.
yeah. Wait. I watched the episode of Dwayne Johnson. Is that the wrong one?
Oh boy.
That's coming up because I'm almost there in Voyager right now.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Can't wait. I'll watch that one. We just watched Jumanji: The Next Level the other night, so I can't wait to watch that one and then have them come in and see it. Have the girls come in and see it.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be funny.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the episode. I mean,
nobody really follows the quarantine protocol in that episode either. Kind of like they're starting to do around here.
Yeah, they all go to the bar. They all.
Yeah. Took a walk late last night because by the time I get done with all my work and everything else, it was like 8:00 at night. So I took the walk when it was starting to get dark, and several people in the neighborhood are now having block parties. Like all the neighbors are coming together with a bonfire in the driveway, and they're just hanging out, and they're not staying 6 feet apart from one another. So I mean, like at some point, this is ridiculous. Like everybody's just giving up on it at this point. So
there's I saw a flyer on Facebook for freedom rallies starting this Sunday.
Yep.
And they want people to meet up at like city halls and whatever. So that'll awesome. Get groups of people together for this.
Yeah, well, that's Idaho. Isn't that happening up by Coeur d'Alene? Isn't that happening in your area?
Sandpoint, they're having the Idaho Rebellion on Sunday.
By the same guy who did the whole thing out there in Washington on the mountain range.
Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon, and got arrested by the FBI. Yeah, that same guy.
Yeah.
That same guy.
Who's that? Ammon Bundy or?
It's not Ruby Ridge, was
something
it?
Bundy. Yeah.
Yeah, Ruby Ridge. Yeah, it's Ted Bundy's uncle Tom.
It's not Ruby Ridge, but it's.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm throwing it all together.
But it's.
I know who it is. I know exactly who it is. Daniel, you'll know this too. It's your mom. Okay, so.
Oh.
What the hell was that?
That comes from Screen Rant.
Yeah.
Daniel watches Screen Rant all the time, and every time he goes, "Oh, that character in the background, you don't know who that was? Oh, that's your mom."
Yeah. No, it'll be interesting to watch the news on Sunday.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
Although at the same time, though, I saw an article the other day where some guy in Austin, Texas, was in a public park playing catch with his 10-year-old daughter, and they arrested him for that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
That's excessive.
Yeah. Come on. There's got to be it's called a free country here for.
Yeah, I mean, if you're socially distant, then you're fine.
Yeah. What's the deal?
Yeah.
So, it's because it was a public park, I guess, and the parks are supposedly closed. The guy was standing in a freaking field. Anyway, that's a bit much.
Yeah, they just closed down the beach over here.
You have a beach in Idaho.
Well, they call it the beach. It's a lake.
In April, it's probably still cold.
Oh, it's very cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's pretty.
All right, so that was
pretty
season
cold.
1. That was season 1, episode 5 of Bable, i.e. the quarantine episode. It's pretty much trash, and they don't do anything right for quarantining. So there you go. Go watch it.
The only thing I'll say is Quark was pretty funny in this episode.
Oh, of course he is. Yeah.
He was like the best part.
Yeah.
So if you want to see Quark being 100% Quark, check it out.
Yep.
If you want to see everyone off and weird, go watch it. Like early Simpsons.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny about Quark's character? I mean, they always make reference to him being kind of the rotten apple, but they need to keep him around so that they can at least have ears on the more nefarious stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, Quark is the nefarious one to begin with, who's causing all those other secondary nefarious things.
Yeah.
That never really held water to me. All 7 seasons of that show, that that they would really let Quark continuously be Quark and not know that a lot of the nefarious stuff that was going on was because he started it.
Right.
Like never really. If there's any flaw of DS9 at all other than season 1, then that's probably it for me, because I love that series.
I thought it was also too, like, they couldn't really prove it. It was all circumstantial stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, really, you could prove it. I mean, if they really wanted to, it's a freaking space station.
Tom and Jerry. That's all.
Exactly, and they wanted them to always be Tom and Jerry. I mean, Odo can turn into a freaking trash can, for crying out loud. And record and listen to every single thing Quark says and does. So.
But there was that famous argument between the two of them where Odo basically told him, "You're a 2-bit nobody."
Yeah.
And Quark says, "And you've been trying forever to catch me and failing. So what does that say about you? That I'm a 2-bit nobody.
Yeah.
You can't pin anything on me."
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, from Quark's perspective, it's great that Odo thinks he's a 2-bit nobody.
Yeah.
When he's not.
He underestimates him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, that's a great duo of characters, despite what I said is a flaw. Those two are wonderful in DS9. Bashir and O'Brien later on are a wonderful pairing in that show. Dax and Kira are kind of a decent, friend group type pairing thing. I don't know. That's not like my favorite, obviously, but they're a good pairing. And of course, Jake and Nog. I mean, some of the best episodes are the B plot with Jake and Nog screwing around on stuff. Yeah. So, those are great.
Jake was a little kid, man.
Yep. He was. Yeah. And that's, to credit to Avery Brooks, one of the things that he said in that documentary, even though Avery's batshit crazy, one of his greatest missions in life was raising Jake. That's what he said to people. And kudos to him for that. So, because he,
he really took him in as like his son.
Yeah, Sarah Clofton obviously needed that at the time, and still does. So that's good. That's good.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, I guess we're done.
We turned mashed potatoes into a potato for an hour. That was wonderful.
Right.
How can you not be entertained by that? I mean,
All right. Well, I'm going to put my mask back on.
Yeah, he's going to go back into the house.
Head back in the house.
Yep.
Well, there you have it. Another episode in the can. Check us out at Trekcast.com. Also, if you would, please subscribe to us via iTunes. Leave those reviews. Subscribe to us. We'll get some numbers, get up the list, get more listeners, do more shows, have more fun. But for now, we're all done. So live long and prosper, and we'll see you next week.